What's going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome back to the channel. Very excited to drop the debut episode of our first Madden 22 franchise mode, as I kind of broke the news in an early video that we're going to be waiting until the September scouting update to start our main channel franchise with the Carolina Panthers. And originally, this part here was going to be something that was really cool, aided by clips. But shout out to HBO Ballers for flagging my video 7 different times. So instead, you're going to sit down, gather around the campfire, listen to Papa C4 tell the story of Madden 22 pink slips. Today's NFL has quickly become a meme from its glory years. Everything's a flag. They're trying to remove all the exciting plays from the game. There's a reason why people call it the no fun league. Decisions made by people without an athletic bone in their body has ruined the greatest professional sports league in America, with ratings plummeting, stadiums empty. A change needs to be made. In an attempt to repair the relationship with the fans, NFL owners have voted to throw Roger Goodell under the bus and find a brand new commissioner to try to bring back the appeal of the NFL. The next commissioner of the NFL has to be a man of the people, a man of the players, a man that's going to bring revolutionary ideas to bring back the revenue that all of the team's 32 owners so desperately crave and need back. So with that being said, only one man ticked off all of these boxes, and I'd like to introduce to you the new commissioner of the National Football League, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. The former pro wrestler turned movie star is so damn liked, people were genuinely trying to make him run for president in America. People love him. As a former Miami Hurricane player, players love him, and having those two people on board means that the owners are going to love him too. Plus, it also helps that The Rock has interest in professional football. In 2020, he bought the XFL for $15 million, but when the opportunity arose for him to jump from that sinking ship to become the new NFL commissioner, he quickly said yes. Before The Rock could sign the dotted line to become the new commissioner, he did have one requirement. He wanted to become an NFL owner. Conflict of interest aside, the NFL swiftly bought out the McNair family from their ownership of the Houston Texans and awarded the franchise to The Rock. So now it was time to innovate. How do you innovate a league that has lost so much of its prestige and esteem from even just the early 2000s? Well, drastic times call for drastic measures, and The Rock proposed a fantasy football element where the entire league would hit the reset button and all 32 teams and owners would engage in a full-on fantasy draft to rebuild their rosters from the ground up. Clearly, this fantasy football suggestion is working because the TV rights are at an all-time high. Season tickets have sold out across the league, and right now the excitement for the new NFL season is at a fever pitch. There was some small text in the contract when The Rock signed over to become the new owner of the Houston Texans and NFL commissioner, that under this fantasy draft premise, the Houston Texans will be operating under a different set of rules than the rest of the teams in the NFL. Most teams with this fantasy draft are going to be approaching it from a winning standpoint. They're going to want to try to sign as many franchise players as possible, get guys, exciting players are going to sell jerseys. That is not the case for the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans will have a set of regulations in this draft where they are only going to be able to target journeymen, depth players, the unwanteds. The reason why this is being done is that when all is said and done, over the years, as the Houston Texans or whatever this team is going to develop into finally reaches the pinnacle and becomes one of the premier squads in the NFL, starting from the bottom where they did, working their way up, it is going to be the personification of the American dream and make it can't miss football, and in a journey that you want to get invested from the very beginning. This journey is going to be streamed exclusively on YouTube, with licensing agreements already in place between YouTube and the NFL, and is expected to bring record-breaking numbers to the platform. And the biggest reason why is the second stipulation. This entire Houston Texans, whatever squad they eventually become, project is going to be played under pink slip rules. For the uninformed, pink slip rules essentially means if you win games based off of your performance, you get to take a player from the other team. And on the same side, if you lose games, the winning team gets to take players from your own team. So it's truly going to make Houston Texans football can't miss, because on any given week, any player could be coming or going. Originally, owners were apprehensive about this clause in the Rock's contract of joining the NFL and owning the Houston Texans, but once they saw the restrictions that were going to be applied to Houston during the fantasy draft, they all kind of laughed. There's no way a team this bad that smells like a bakery because they're so cupcakey has any chance of winning games. So they kind of thought that the pros outweighed the cons, and they agreed. And with that, it's Madden 22 season, and this is Pink Slips. So now that you're all caught up, it is time to get into the fantasy draft. And while league owners across the country are excited to reset the NFL, bring in brand new franchise players, things are going to be a little bit different here in Houston because they've been chosen to be a part of the Pink Slips program. So while every other team are going to be trying to get young franchise players, we're going to have severe restrictions for how we're going to be able to build our starting day roster. So to make it simple, we take a cupcake team. We got to make one. So the team for the majority is going to be 65 overall or lower, and there can't be any rookies. These are going to be journeymen. These are going to be guys that are bubble guys. These are going to be guys that are already just in free agency. We're going to try to get the funnest players available within those parameters, but you want to start from the bottom so that as we win games, as we can acquire players, you know, we're going to have that opportunity to make those big time upgrades. And once we eventually build our team, hopefully into a Super Bowl contender, playoff contender, we know where we came from, and then we know where we're at. And having that growth, having that grind to the top, that's definitely one of the appeals of Pink Slips. A lot of people say Pink Slips is kind of like mud, and it kind of is. Like when you start on a Madden Ultimate team sucks. Then you gotta slowly work your way up, and eventually you build a baller squad, which is what we're gonna try to do here today. Now, it's not all gonna be cupcakey. We're gonna have 6 team captains. You have 6 captains in Madden, and we're gonna have 3 on the offensive side of the ball, 3 on the defensive side of the ball. And they're going to break that 65 or below threshold. These players are going to be between 66 up to a 75 overall. And, per Pink Slips rules, especially if you're new, team captains can't be poached if you lose a game. These are guys that are going to be untouchable for the entirety of the year. Obviously, it will change, and you will swap out team captains as you get better players. But these initial 6 players, they're going to have to carry the load for this squad. Up to a 75 overall, so they're going to be 10 points overall better, up to anyways, than some of their teammates. These are going to have to be our premier players, but I am going to put a little bit of an age restriction in there because there's a lot of really talented rookies with great depth traits that would fit within this parameter. So every player that's going to be a team captain has to be at least 28 years old. There's a couple reasons. 28 is kind of the cutoff in franchise mode for quick growth development. Really 29, 30s when players start to regress. Also, I'm 28. That makes me feel very old. That's like at where I'm at is when most players start sucking in Madden. But that's just, it is what it is, man. You are what you are. You were born when you were born. So those are going to be our team captains. What I'm going to do for this draft, I'm going to show you the first 10 picks, 6 team captains, and the remaining 4 guys I think that are interesting from the 65 or below bracket. I'll finish out the draft. We'll meet the rest of the team, and I'll set everything up for the next episode. So without further ado, let's get into the draft. Let's reset the NFL and usher in a brand new era. So we have the 16th pick in the first round of the fantasy draft, and there's some great options here. Aaron Donald, DeAndre Hopkins, Tyreek Hill, Christian McCaffrey that I would love to piok. Unfortunately, we can't do that. So I think out of all of our team captains that I have kind of identified here, we might as well go with the guy that's going to be under center. Who is going to be the first franchise quarterback in Madden 22 Pink Slips? Well, let's just keep working our way down here. So they can be 75 or below. I did consider Ryan Fitzpatrick. I did consider Jameis Winston, even though, I don't know actually if he's old enough. He might be a year too young. Carson Wentz fit the parameters. I'm still healing on that one. I couldn't quite go to Carson Wentz. There's also, funner options for sure. If we wanted to go a little bit lower, RG3. I'm going to tell you, maybe if we can land him as a backup, I'll be highly, considering that. Jacob Eason's another quarterback I do want to try and target, as he's not a rookie and he's under 65, has that throw power, which could be pretty fun. But my pick for the first franchise quarterback in this Pink Slip series, I got to go with Super Bowl champion. I got to go to a guy that's incredibly important to me, a player that I rarely get to play with. I don't think I've ever played with him in Madden since he's won a Super Bowl for my Philadelphia Eagles. So I thought, what better time than now? It's the perfect opportunity for a Nick Foles opportunity on the channel. So the first pick for the Houston Texans in the fantasy redraft is BDN himself, Nick Foles.
Does he have a piece on him? Look at the camera. Look at that one over there to the left.
I said this before. You need to get Animal Planet on there.
All right, seeing Chase Young just goes is just another. realization how bad our roster is really going to be. I can't even pick. I had an order that I want to do my 6. They're not even showing up because there's just too many players. So the next pick is not necessarily by priority. He's the only guy that I can grab that's a team captain in the 2nd round, and it is going to be middle linebacker from, I don't even know where he's playing right now. He used to play for the Falcons, but I think he has a lot of solid ability for how I like to play with my middle linebackers when I do decide to play with my middle linebackers. So we're going to select Devondre Campbell, 28 years old, out of the University of Minnesota. Pass coverage, 85 speed, 88 tackle. The 81 pursuit's pretty good. Zone coverage, not a liability by any means. So there we go. Our 2nd pick has been made. Welcome to Pink Slips, Devondre Campbell. So for our 3rd captain, our 3rd pick, as we reset our squad here, I need an edge rusher. I use the D-line. He has the best skill set as a former 1st-round pick, I think, of maybe potentially even having like a great second part to his career in the NFL at 29 years old. And we're talking about Vic Beasley, outside linebacker. We're going to move him on the back to the defensive line, edge rusher out of Clemson. For our 4th team captain, we got to help out Nick Foles here on the offensive side of the ball. So I want to get a running back that can do damage between the tackles, also is a weapon outside the backfield. And we're going to look at Jerick McKinnon, 75 normal dev. He's 29, 90 speed, 91 acceleration, 94 agility, 83 carry, 88 change of direction, 85 juke, also thrown in with 71 catching. Great set of mitts on the guy. Welcome to Pink Slips. So I might as well just show you some of my premier players that aren't going to be team captains. One, I actually found a guy that fit, wasn't a rookie, was under 65 and had a depth chart. I actually got 2 of them. So at right tackle, we're going with from the Kansas City Chiefs, at least formerly from the Chiefs, now a member of Pink Slips, Lucas Niang, 64 star dev right tackle. Much like Niang, this is another lineman that fit all the parameters, also had a dev trade. I remember this from the Jacksonville Jaguars rebuild. So we are going to be bringing in left guard, 65 star dev, Ben Barch.
Well, you're certainly doing your job today, Mr. Sun. Oh, rats.
Nick Foles isn't getting any younger, so I do think it is decent until the draft or once we get going in Pink Slips to have a developmental quarterback behind him. And we have Jacob Easter with 92 throw power. We can do a lot of damage with that. So kind of future-proofing the quarterback spot here just a little bit in case we don't go outside the building sooner than later. We're going to grab Jacob Eason. Plus, injuries are on. If Nick Foles goes down, we need a fun, good backup. And I'm not saying he's going to be the only backup quarterback we get, but in terms of upside, it's worth mentioning that we have Eason on the roster. All right, our team captains are coming back. Our 5th team captain, our deep threat for Nick Foles, Philip Dorsett, former 1st-round pick, 75 normal dev, 28. We got 93 speed, 90 acceleration, 85 catching, 84 spec catch. The route running solid. The agility and jumping is solid. He is going to be a big-time playmaker for us. Gonna grab I actually did know this guy to dev trade, but he fits the parameters yet again. So we're gonna have a good young offensive line. We're gonna grab Austin Jackson, former 1st-round pick from the Miami Dolphins, 65 with a star dev. Okay, it's looking good. Hey, who says 65 and below, non-rookies, has to be just ungodly, terrible talent? And it only took to round 14 for him to even pop up, but our 6th and final team captain, former Florida Gator wide receiver at corner, 6'2", 200 pounds, 29 years old, Quinton Dunbar. 90 speed, 93 acceleration, 77 zone, 75 man, 85 agility, 85 jumping, 79 press, 72 catching. Let's go. Those are our team captains. So from here, I'll finish out the roster and we'll meet the team in a couple seconds. The draft has completed, and in my notes, I was planning on just like writing something in for this. I was gonna trade away pick because there are 2 players that are like right on the cusp of being draftable, but I couldn't draft them, but I really want them to be a part of the series. So I was gonna trade like my 2nd and 3rd round picks, 100% would have got these players added to my squad. They weren't even drafted. So this is gonna go out to all of the people that maybe like C4, I don't agree with how you built your roster. I think it's a little too easy. So we'll call these 2 wild cards. They're gonna be 2 big additions to our squad. One is White Lightning, Troy Apke at corner. I've used him in pretty much every Pink Slip series. I was willing to trade, like I said, 2nd or 3rd round pick just to make him on our squad because I feel like that would have been the workaround. It's like I'm giving up picks to get this guy that's 1 point higher than the cutoff that we were able to draft for, but he was just there anyway, so I'm very happy with that. The second player, especially if you follow me on Twitter, for the Philadelphia Eagles, there is a wide receiver that I think is going to break out for the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm a massive fan, but unfortunately he was just 1 point higher than the cutoff, but he's a free agent, and that is Quez Watkins. I think he is going to absolutely rip up for the Philadelphia Eagles this year. I've talked to him already as far as like targets you guys should try to get in your drafts. He went UDFA, so I'm also going to make the little bit of a bend the rules signing there to get Quez Watkins on our squad. So now let's take a look at our first Madden 22, first and only Madden 22 Pink Slips team. So look at that quarterback. We got Nick Foles. He's QB1. He's Captain 1. He was the first overall pick. We got RG3. I saw a lot of people when I brought up Pink Slips, he said, hey, look at RG3. We got Jacob Eason, and obviously way down there at the bottom, we have Tim Tebow. There could be a feeling out process for quarterbacks. We might need all 4 of these QBs at some point until we find the guy. And that, you know, Tebow's just there because I'm a Gator fan. I need to have Tebow on the roster. But this is not, I'll tell you right now, 100%, there is no storyline being concocted. There's no ulterior motives to get Tim Tebow on the field. If really, we're going to have to go through Foles not being the guy we want to play with, RG3 not being the guy we want to play with, and Jacob Eason not being the guy we want to play with before we get to Tebow. So it'll be a long time if you are thinking that it'll be sooner than later Tim Tebow becomes our starting quarterback. In the backfield, so you saw the Jerick McKinnon selection. I got Jason Huntley from the Eagles, brings some good speed. Jordan Scarlett brings some good speed too. And we got this guy, Nathan Cottrell. White Lightning as well, 93 speed. Sure, I've never heard of this guy in my life, but yep, definitely was going to throw him on the roster. We have Gillespie at fullback, 65, the best athlete of the bunch in a scheme fit. The wide receiver room, so Philip Dorsett, our team captain. We broke the rules just a little bit to get Quez Watkins on board. I got Freddie Swain and Tyree Cleveland because, I mean, Freddie Swain, even though he's a Gator, he was probably the best 65 and below from a stat standpoint. Cleveland, yeah, you know, a little bit of Gator bias there. But and we got Austin Prohl 316. He is back. He's a staple. He's a staple this series. I don't want to have too many familiar faces, so it feels copy and pasty, especially around the world. You know, when Madden, the last thing you want to do in any Madden thing ever on a channel is copy and paste. But there are a couple familiar faces that I do want to try to link up with. Tight end, we got Parham, who's so good for us last year, 6'8", red zone monster. I got Colby Parkinson, Kahale Waring, and I got Bradley Sowell. He's a converted lineman. Got crazy blocking, so hey, if you ever find yourself on the field, I'm not going to be throwing it to him, so you might as well get a guy that can block well. So we got Austin Jackson with his dev trait, Jack Driscoll, a little bit of Eagle bias here. He's really good for the Eagles. Last year's rookie. We got Ben Barch with his star dev trait, Dieter is his depth guard, Bodine at center, the serial killer himself, Patrick Morris. I always get to have this guy, and he's terrifying. That's the scariest player in the NFL. He's like, you know, in that sense, James Harrison retired. Patrick Morris is the scariest player in the NFL. I got John Runyon, not Eagles bias, but kind of Eagles bias, because his dad was probably one of the best linemen I've ever seen. Ben Bredesen, Isaiah Wilson. I figured, why not? Hey, first round bust out of the league. He's going to be a depth because we're going with Niang at start at right tackle to utilize that dev trait. So between Niang, Ben Barch at left guard, and Austin Jackson at left tackle, we got 3 dev trait not rookies, but guys that are going into year 2 for all of them. Ben Barch, yeah. So young dev trait lineman, didn't break the rules, so we got to take it where we can get it. Flipping to the defensive side, I got Chad Thomas and Casey Toohill. There are, I think, 4 or 5 players that, because of whatever my coaching staff has, they have that boost, but he is a 65 overall with the +1 boost, so we're not breaking any rules here. Right defensive end, we got Vic Beasley, Deshaun Hall, and Khalil Davis. Now, what I'm going to do with Khalil Davis, 6'1", 308, 81 speed, 86 acceleration. I'm going to make him a defensive tackle. We're not running a 3-4 or anything like that, but I do like my mobile, athletic, interior pass rusher. So I'm going to move Davis in there to defensive tackle. His rating doesn't really go up too bad, so that's good. I got Street, Bravion Roy, and Caleb Brantley. Both Roy and Brantley get the 1-point boost, but they are 65 overall. Linebacker core, we got Ulysses Gilbert, who's a 65 with the boost, 66. Great athlete there, 88 speed, 90 acceleration. We have EJ Speed, more depth. Devondre Campbell, team captain. We got Quincy Williams from the Jags, Voshawn Joseph, a little bit of Gator bias there, but our linebackers, and pretty much every linebacker you're going to see, they're going to be great athletes. So we got Jamal Davis here, 63. Javen White. He's from UNLV, but he's like obviously a converted safety, 6'2", 211, 91 speed, 92 acceleration. And then we got Quentin Bell, we've used in pink slips before, 6'4", 250, pound for pound, one of the freakiest athletes in the NFL. Only a 60 overall, but we got some fun linebackers here that we can use for our disposal. We got at secondary, Quentin Dunbar, team captain, 75 overall. Got White Lightning, Troy Apke. From that, I finished with Luck Barku. Had a bunch of picks his final year at San Diego State. Stanley Thomas Oliver. And then we got two height, weight, speed guys, Denmark and Chris Westry. If you don't know about Chris Westry, I've talked about him. Just, you want to develop guy. You want that project corner. This is it. 63 overall, 6'4", 200 pounds with 94 speed, 91 acceleration, 90 jumping, 74 press. Work in progress. The height, weight, speed, yes sir. Denmark, 6'2", 220. Stats not as good. 91 speed, 94 acceleration, 97 jumping, 73 catching. We got some fun corners on this roster. We got Deion Bush, AJ Moore at free safety, and at strong safety, Jalen Hawkins and Natrell Jamerson. Special teams, Vedvik. And punter, reliable as always. Get the gongs out, baby. Johnny Townsend. Pound for pound, like since I've been watching Florida Gator football, he's like the all-world punter that I think I would pick out of all the punters. We have some pretty good ones at Florida. So that is our squad. So we're here at the beginning of the preseason. Team overall 63 for Houston. That's not very good. We're gonna be at least 10 points worse than any other team in the NFL. So quick things that you need to know for pink slips. We are not at risk of losing any of our players because we're obviously going to be expected to lose a lot of games, and there will be some simming of games which we're going to lose, so that just kind of keeps the balance of things here for our record. We're not going to be able to lose any players until we break that 75 overall threshold, which is, I think that's completely fair because we're going to have garbage roster. Like, it'd be one of those things that we'd be losing, and I'd be spending a whole lot of time about like, hey, I'm going to give up one of my starters for like the third string defensive tackle on the Green Bay Packers, for an example. So until we hit that 75 threshold, we're not losing any players. And what I want to do here is usually we just kind of burn right through the preseason, but because we may potentially be introducing pink slips here to brand new users, I'm going to sim 2 of these games. I will handle it as pink slips. If we do win, I will calculate the score. We may be able to take a player. I will play one of these preseason games. I will probably just play that last one, and hopefully we can win, and hopefully you guys will get your first taste of how pink slips works from a scoring standpoint for how we're going to get players. Just to give a little bit of an example out there, I'll try my best to win, plus we'll get a little bit of gameplay. Don't want to get out of here without kind of getting a sniff of what Nick Foles and this pink slip squad can do. So the last thing we really kind of need to prepare for here is the inevitable. Is the relocation. I still have no idea. I've already, just in my own time, gone off, looked at a couple of the relocation teams that look good from my relocation. I've obviously none of them really look good because they're copy and paste, but I really don't want to stay as the Houston Texans. And I mean, hey, we could probably we're just gonna start this now, and we'll see what happens. If we decide we want to stay with Houston, a lot of people in the comments say we should just stick with Houston, kind of rebuild the Texans up. We could just ignore it and we won't relocate. But I very much want your guys' impact and input on what team we could potentially become. Because I do think, rebranding opportunity. The Rock is taking control of Houston, and we want to bring them to bigger and brighter pastures. Is that a thing? I feel like that's a saying. That's something from the Midwest of America. That's what they would say. Is that where we're going to relocate to? I don't know. I have one team in mind that I kind of want to move to. I did 4 teams that I thought kind of looked cool from that relocation video. I just wanted to actually get in and I practiced just to see what the jerseys look like on the players. There's one that looks pretty good. Kind of can tie it in with The Rock. But I will be taking, and it has been actually in the comments as well. I will say that's in the state of Texas. But I have looked at, there's a Memphis team that we talked about a little bit. Got some, had some weird looking jerseys. I didn't really like the look of the, anyways. Last thing on the relocation is just let me know in the comment section below, especially if one location can get a lot of momentum. I will consider it for a relocation team. But I'll say right now, one of our options, I'll say it's in San Antonio. So you can go look at the video and look at the different jerseys. Guess which one I want. But that is what I'm thinking. Plus, it's kind of realistic because you keep the team in the state of Texas. You don't have to get weird with the divisions or anything like that. But hey, neither here nor there. 3 minutes, too much talking. Let's get into the preseason. We're going to sim against Green Bay. We're going to sim against Dallas. And then we're going to hop in against Tampa. Hopefully, you can find a way to win and steal a player away. Now, obviously, when we're playing full games, we're going to do big-time deep dives because we've reset the league. But just for this preseason, we'll look at the X factors just to see the landscape of the NFL. So the Green Bay Packers have Patrick Mahomes at quarterback, Terran Armstead, Darius Slay, Justin Tucker, and Justin Jefferson. That looks weird. That looks very weird. But that's what we're kind of going for here in Pink Slip. So let's get a read of how the worst team in the NFL. I mean, the preseason. Hopefully Green Bay pulls their starters and we might have a chance. Like, this is probably going to be our best chance of actually winning games. So let's see, Nick Foles. I mean, we're getting some good yardage here. We get a touchdown. Oh, I'm not ready for picks. I'm not ready for a win yet. I haven't even made the graphics. I was hoping I'd be able to. Okay, well, let's go, man. Let's shock the world. We got Nick Foles. When you have Nick Foles under center, anything is possible. Green Bay is pulling ahead here in the second half. 24-10 in the. Ooh, we're going for it on pretty much every fourth down, it feels like, which I like it. I like the balls. Look at that, man. We're just being relentless here. Get the touchdown, make it a one-score game. Defense getting tired, but we have a chance. We went for it on fourth down. Had an opportunity to go down the field and tie it up, but unfortunately on the losing end, 24-17. Just kind of want to see, like, what did our team do? Who looked good? Who played well? 229 yards, no touchdowns, and a pick for RG3. Rushing touchdown for the fullback. That's not really what you want to see. 42 yards, Jason Huntley. 7 catches, 65 for Prohl. 95 yards, Parkinson. And then on the defensive side, we got 7 tackles, Westry. 2 TFLs, Deshaun Hall. A couple singles there. No sacks. We did have a pick, AJ Moore, who actually I think was on the Texans originally. Game 2 of the preseason might be the last time we have the Battle of Texas here. As who knows where we end up relocating. Let's take a look at Dallas. What do they work with? They got Jalen Ramsey, Brian Burns, and Cooper Kupp. So at least on paper, not as overpowered as the Green Bay Packers, but still pretty damn good. And they got Tua. Okay, Tua at QB. Could have went Dak. Could have went Dak still. So let's see if we can get a win here. Sneak out a victory. I'm fully not expecting. We'll get the first touchdown. I'm fully not expecting, though, to get a win until we hop in. But you never know, man. This thing can do weird things. 7-7, contested game. It's not like we're getting blown out. We probably should be getting blown out, but we're not. The sim is keeping us in. We go to the second half. It's the preseason. Oh, we got an opportunity to kick a field goal here. We go for the touchdown. 14-7, Houston. Dallas is able to equalize. Ooh, Houston touchdown. Oh, let's go. Come on. Come on, D. Come on. We're playing well enough. This could be our first victory. This could be what we need. We are going to get a pink. Oh, we are going to get a pink sledge victory. Yes. Let's go. Suck it, Mike McCarthy. Oh, yes. Oh, why you? Oh, what's wrong with your shoulders? Who played a big part in this? Who played their part? RG3. What? RG3. I repeat, what? We got 2 touchdowns. No picks. I mean, it's just, he's back home. He's in the state of Texas. RG3 is feeling it. Absolute vibes. We have 25 yards. Huntley, 40 yards, and a touchdown. Jerick McKinnon. On the receiving side of things, Colby Parkinson, 5 catches, 38 yards, 2 touchdowns. Waring at 52. 50 for Huntley out the backfield. I like seeing all of that. Defensively, a couple TFLs, 3 for Deshaun Hall. He's been all over the place so far in this preseason. We got 2 sacks for Chad Thomas. Put respect. Chad Thomas. What's he, like a 3rd round pick too? Wasn't he a high pick for the Cleveland Browns, I think? So we got the victory, 21-14 in the preseason. So here's what we're doing for Pink Slips, man. You know the scoring. I'll flash the scoring up here right now. We're going to take a pause. I'm going to calculate a star rating, and from there, we get to find out what player we can potentially upgrade to. I've calculated everything. Big brain time. And it's a professional victory. It's nothing crazy, but it's going to be a big time upgrade for our squad potentially. So we got the victory 21-14, which is 1 star out the gate. For player performance, it's the preseason, not a lot of starters playing, so it's tough to kind of build up big time scores. So we are going to first look at the receiving parameters, receiving bonuses, and Colby Parkinson had 2 receiving touchdowns, which is worth half a star. And then flipping to the defensive side of the ball, we get to reward the man. We butchered his name on the first time we talked about him, but Chad Thomas trying to resurgence his career here. 2 sacks, also worth a half star. That gives us a 2-star performance, which gives us a +4 upgrade that we get to take from the Dallas Cowboys. Now, it seems like there's just a lot of information. It's episode 1. Once we get this rolling, once I get your guys' true feedback for how we should do some of the aspects of this series, it's going to be a lot less stop and start. One thing I want to talk about here is the upgrades. It's always kind of be like, you know, how I felt. Sometimes I'd upgrade my players, sometimes I wouldn't. Should there be like a parameter? Like, I'm kind of feeling like it's simple enough, and I do this in a lot of my rebuilds, just when I'm just recording, is I don't get to upgrade any of my players until we win a game. So now that we do get a win, all these players can go up their overall, but if you are on a losing skid, you're not going to be able to bail yourself out by getting your players to improve over that time. So I feel like if you guys think that's a nice little element to have here in Pink Slips, that we can only upgrade our players coming off of a win, let me know in the comment section below, but that's what I'm going to do here right now. So here are the potential upgrades. Usually, we end an episode here, and I get you guys to kind of pull on it if it's not clear and obvious, but these are the best +4 or within that +4 upgrades we could have. First, you have Tua for Nick Foles. I think, obviously, this was an earned result. We actually played and get this. I would consider it. But the fact that it's sim, I wasn't expecting any really sim wins. And we started this whole Pink Slips thing off of me saying I'm making Nick Foles my first pick because I want to play with Nick Foles. I don't want to just lose all that by not having Foles. So I think the two options here for me right now is flipping Waring, who's not even a play, you know, he's our backup tight end. We can get Albert O, who's 6'5", 260, almost 90 speed, just dominant from tight end. Or we can maximize that +4 and upgrade Ulysses Gilbert to Zach Bond, second-year player out of Wisconsin. And you know, you kind of look at this like our linebacking core, probably one of the weaker groups on our team. This could be the best upgrade. This is, I think for this one, we'll go with the least cheesier player, the better upgrade overall to our squad because it was a sim victory. But again, you're seeing this dilemma, this decision making. Usually I will be able to de facto to the comments from here on out. It's just because we're burning through a couple episodes here. So with that, a big time acquisition on the defensive side of the ball, our first Pink Slips win, and we acquire Zach Bond, 69 overall. Nice outside linebacker. So Zach Bond already coming to our defense, fitting in like a glove, got the +1 boost from our defensive coordinator. Let's look at the stats here, closer look. We do want a pass coverage archetype. He's a speed rusher at this point, but we can develop him just a little bit. 83 tackle, 85 speed, 88 acceleration, 80 pursuit, 67 finesse, 67 block shed, 61 zones, not bad per se. You know, solid athlete, 78 strength. But, you know, it's an upgrade to the defense, and we upgraded, in my opinion, what was our weakest spot in the entirety of the team, which were our outside linebackers. So it's time to hop in, get on the stick, see what this team's about. Our final preseason game is against the Tampa Bay Bucks. Now, they're not the default rostered Bucks, which are the best team to play in this series, but they have George Kittle and Derwin James as their X Factors, James Bradbury, Joe Mixon as their superstars. Not like any of these players are going to be in play or potentially up for grabs, but hopefully we can find a way to get another win and one nice little upgrade before the regular season starts. All right, we're going on the sticks. Let's go. Nick Foles warming up. I'm going to play the moments, but we're actually just going to genuinely play the moments. Anytime it gives us a moment to hop into, I will play it, and we're starting here with our opening drive. Am I nervous? Yes. Very nervous. Because, you know, I suck at this game. Okay, first pass. We got to go Quez. Gotta go Quez Watkins. We'll get him involved early and often. 19 yards. Borsett's our wide receiver 1. We got Quez Watkins top. We got Parham. I'd like to see Parham make a couple plays here as we essentially kept him. Oof. We kept him employed by not going out and grabbing Albert O, but a big time sack there from the Bucks defense. So Quez again. Get our playmakers out in speed. Get some of that yardage back. Oh, let's go. Okay. Need to see another look at that. That's on James Bradbury. Nick Foles throwing absolute dimes. Oh, what? It's the greatest catch I've ever seen. Nothing wrong with that animation. Let's go quick pass Parham, get the first down, move the sticks. Run a guy over while we're at it. And Jerick McKinnon. Okay. Don't want to see that in the final preseason game. He's going to the back. That's not good. Jason Huntley season. Could this be a potential life-changing injury? Can Jason Huntley now be our RB1? Probably not. Oh, yeah. Let's go Nick. Oh, Nick's just... He's loose right now. 5 of 5. What do we got here? Torn labrum. When are we pulling the starters? That's brutal. Oh. Hey, 6'8", he's wide open. Defense does a good job. Offense kind of trading. Tampa is able to get a score. Oh no, now I gotta go on the defense. This is the first time I've played defense in Madden 22. So don't judge me if it's pretty rough. Oh, let's go. Quarter blitz. Safety blitz. Detrell Jamerson. Green eggs and jam. Peanut butter and jam. Let's go. Bond the newcomer. Let's see what the kid can do. Not a bad rush. High pass from Jameis Winston. Claypool able to bring it down. Ooh. Home no field goal. Claypool. He's in the 70s. I'd love to add Claypool if we can get a win here. Okay, so they were going for a field goal. And then they went for it. All right, we'll come back in. I simmed that because it was a field goal. They thought they wanted to change their mind. Okay. I'm going to change my mind here. I was going to take it easy on you. Now, you're just going to get 2 scoops. Up your poop chute. Oh. Big sack there, Leonard Floyd. Indecisive from Nick Foles. I'm going to do something as well in the second half. Right now, I have all of the game audio, like in-game audio, the crowd, all that stuff muted. I'm going to play the second half with it on. I really want to get you guys feedback. What do you like more? Do you like it when it's muted and you'll just have the background music? Or do you like the on-field sounds, sights and sounds of the NFL? I want your feedback on that one. But what I also need is feedback on this 3rd and a mile. We'll go right to the running back, Huntley, who's actually a pretty good set of mitts on him. And we get the first down. 3rd and 10. I mean, from a pig slip standpoint, going back to Parham, getting his 2nd touchdown helps with our scoring, but I just need a touchdown. I don't want to necessarily force feed anybody, and it's a sack. That's pretty good. And we pull back within 1. There we go. Is that a sack? Nice, Devondre Campbell. That was more like a subtle embrace. They looked like they were showing each other love there. A nice little hug. Oh, let's go right to the tight end. That's easy. Does it to Warwick. Oh, it's the little duck. Let's go, Fedvick. Stop. It is good. And the Texans have a 2-point lead. Yep. Another nice embracing hug. Like you saw, like the NFL, like it's going viral now that they don't want like taunting and stuff like that, and it's really bad. This is gonna be like in the next memo sent out by the NFL. Like, here's how we want people to tackle from now on. We want you to just grab them around the hips and softly caress them to the ground. Like that right now, that right there is how Roger Goodell wants the NFL to tackle. Like, all right, just everybody, let's get this one in live time here. All right, could go for the big hit. I want you to bring him down and embrace it.
Here's Griffin.
RG3. Let's go right to Prohl. Both feet in. Yes, sir. So it's 3 in the morning. I got kids. Still working. And for some reason, I was asking you guys, like, do you like the gameplay with no sound or with crowd in the background? And for some reason, my audio settings didn't save because I always have the commentators on 0. So that's why there wasn't so much gameplay in the second half, because the commentators are going in the background. It sounded like we're talking over one another. I just couldn't re-record it at this point. But from here on out, no commentators. I'll make them shut their freaking mouths. Let's skip the 4th down, and it is back-to-back wins here in the preseason. Bruce Arians can't believe he just lost to the Cupcake Squad. Okay, wasn't the best flashiest of upgrade, but an upgrade's an upgrade. We won the game 23-14, which gives us 1 star. And then for our player performances, didn't get much from our skill position guys. It is what it is, man. It's a preseason game. I mean, Parham had a solid game, 7 catches, 79 yards, and a touchdown. Prohl had that touchdown late. But on the defensive side of the ball, we got to the QB. Sack and a half for Bond, Jamerson, Vic Beasley, Devondre Campbell, couple White Lightning getting in for the half sack. But Luck Barku got an interception, which is where they half star. It's a 1.5 star performance, which is a good example to give, because when we have a half star scenario, we always round down, because when in doubt, go with the harder or least favorable option for us. So it's a 1 star performance, which is a +2 upgrade that we get to take away a player from the Bucks. The first thing is McKinnon's injury, the torn labrum. He is going to be out for 4 weeks. We're not going to be breaking any labor laws in this series. If someone is injured and I can trade them, I'm 100% trading them. So we'll keep that in mind here. Let's see what kind of upgrade we can get from Tampa. So here are the upgrades from that Bucs game. I was talking about Claypool, and unfortunately just 1 point shy of being able to make that trade happen, but till another time. I absolutely would like Claypool. That's another thing that's fun about this series, that it is kind of like Madden Ultimate Team, where there's a certain degree of like, I can go and get the players I want. And now that like, we've reset the NFL, like, who knows who's going to be on any given team that we play on any given week. But we can't make that trade. The +2s, one I just kind of thought about because we have the running back injury, and I'm a big fan of Jake Funk. That seems like that guy. Jake Funk has a lot of meme potential within his series, but that's just not, you know, he's not, I don't know if he's even an upgrade over Jason Huntley. Looked pretty good. So we're not going to make that move because easily the best upgrade here is moving on and bringing in a brand new team captain, +2, Vic Beasley. We're going to send him over. Obviously, I was a little apprehensive about potentially trading a team captain, but considering we hopped in and actually played that game, we kind of earned that victory, I think, for the most part, even though there was some sim. I have no reservations about making an upgrade to this magnitude, +2, but we're bringing in Kwity Paye, the first-round draft pick, originally of the Colts, 73 overall with a hidden dev trade. He is a scheme fit, and he's pretty damn scary looking. 85 speed, 86 acceleration, 86 strength, 80 tackle. Won't have that block shed boost when he comes over, but he has the power move is solid. Got to work on his finesse, 88 agility, his pursuit's high. He's a scary looking player, and he's absolutely a guy that can be the cornerstone of our franchise going on. We're going to have that entering year one. So this is the trade we're going to be making. Big time upgrade for the Texans. Welcome, Kwity Paye. So with the addition of Kwity Paye, here's going to be our opening game day roster. One thing I'm thinking about, I know might be suggested in the comments, is moving Tim Tebow to fullback. That's something we should do. I'm definitely open to that because Foles and RG3 are clearly our quarterbacks right now. But with the injury to McKinnon, we are going with Jason Huntley as our RB1, 65. Could be a lot better. Could have a lot more stability in the backfield. But on the defensive side of the ball, at least we were able to end with some momentum, getting Zach Bond and much more importantly, Kwity Paye to help us out here in our very infancy stages of pink slips. And I think we're going to give them hell. I absolutely think we're going to give them hell in the opening week. I think I'm going to be doing 3 games per episode. I don't know the formatting. I'm thinking probably 2 sim, 1 play. Could be some room for adjusting that just a little bit, but that's at least what I'm thinking about right now as we open up against the Jacksonville Jaguars, 80 overall. And as you can see here at the bottom, they do have Saquon Barkley, but obviously that'll be for the next episode when we preview that matchup. But I hope you guys are excited for Pink Slips. I hope if you're brand new here, I tried my best to explain it. It's not really that complicated. So if you do think you're confused a little bit, things will very much right the ship and you'll be right on board. And I hope you guys enjoy it. This is just something that we're doing right now, something fun that I think is different enough, unique enough that might, you know, appear in someone's sub boxes that might not have checked out my channel before and they want to hop on and be like, well, no one's really doing a franchise mode like this. This is a crazy franchise mode. I want to watch that. I want to support that guy. And then plus all the regular channel OGs. You guys love this series. But yeah, we're just going to be rocking and rolling with this one until we can get that September scouting update in franchise mode. And then we're going to do our main channel franchise with Christian McCaffrey and the Carolina Panthers. So hopefully we have a lot of fun on the way to that point and the way of making this Houston for now team a fun Pink Slips team. So a lot of questions I want to throw out to you guys. One is obviously relocation options. Where do we go? What team do you want to see? I'm thinking keeping in the state of Texas, I'll say that, but by all means, feel free to shoot your shot in the comments. Any roster decisions we should make, let me know. Do you like the on-field audio with the crowd and stuff? You like it muted, you just want that background music. So a lot of different things. Suggestions as always to the scoring. We're always looking at revamping that. We're gonna have the spin the wheel. Didn't dive into that too much here, but that will be coming. I have a nice little wheel overlay that'll pop up on the screen. But yeah, that's about it, boys. I gotta get out of here. It's 4 o'clock. This video is gonna take forever to upload on YouTube. It's gonna probably mess up with the whatever. It's coming to you guys. It's Madden 22 season. I'm very excited. So if it's your first time stopping by, you definitely want to stick around. Hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button. It's free. It's the easiest way to go to your way to support the channel as it helps my videos in the YouTube algorithm. And that'll do it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. See you guys back on the next one. Peace out.